Hey there, welcome back to the Afinida Insurance podcast. We're continuing with our Asked and Answered series, and this month we're talking about all things home insurance. So I have two of our insurance experts here with us, Alyssa and Victoria, and they're going to answer your questions and questions they just get most commonly about this subject. So we're going to jump right in and start with Victoria. Very first question that we get a lot from people: what is water backup and sump pump failure insurance?
So water backup insurance provides coverage for damage to your property that can be caused by a clogged sewer line, failed sump pump, and backed up drains. It can also cover the mold damage to your home that is caused by the water or sewer backup. A lot of people don't know what sump pumps are. Sump pumps remove water from your basement, and they can also pump groundwater away from the basement. But when they fail, fixing the resulting water damage can get really expensive. So this coverage helps to pay for those damages and to restore everything to its original state. It's usually not part of your homeowner's policy, but it's always an additional optional coverage.
So renter's insurance is a all-encompassing policy that protects people who don't own a home. So you don't have that physical structure to insure, but you still have your own personal property that is kept within. So if a fire burnt down like an apartment that you were renting, there's a lot of money that you have in your valuables, all of your clothes, furniture, electronics, things of that nature. One other thing that's included with the renter's insurance is personal liability. So this is a really important thing for all people to have. We live in a very litigious society where people get mad and will sue you. So this provides that coverage in case anyone brings a lawsuit against you.
So this one is pretty easy. Both products are designed for property owners. The clear distinction between the two is homeowners insurance offers coverage for owner-occupied residential properties where you're actually living in the property you own, and landlord insurance offers coverage for tenant-occupied residential properties.
So actual cash value, this is the coverage that factors in depreciation. So the normal wear and tear of your home, say your home was built in the 1970s, the construction itself has depreciated quite a bit compared to the cost to rebuild in today's economy. So it can result in lower payouts and leave you with a financial gap. And so that's why it's really important to review that dwelling replacement cost on your policy. Make sure that it is factoring in the increased cost. Inflation is all around us, and that will definitely affect the cost to rebuild your home as well.
So renters or homeowners insurance will typically cover jewelry, but only up to a very limited amount, like $1,000 to $2,000. In some cases, you can add an endorsement or what's called a floater to your policy, which is made to raise your coverage limits for specific high value items. However, the issue with this is if you do have a jewelry claim, that does go against your homeowner's insurance policy, which can in turn raise your premiums come renewal.
Yeah.
But there is another option that you can purchase an entirely separate jewelry protection policy. And these can cover a broader range of perils, such as like leaving your ring on vacation, or it falls down the drain while you're cleaning it. And if you do make a claim on these separate jewelry protection policies, they will not go against your homeowner's policy. This would more so be for when you're purchasing a new home. You could still work with your same agent and rewrite a new home, but it's typically going to be a new policy. So when you pay your mortgage, a portion of the overall premium or the overall payment is set aside in your escrow account, which helps pay your homeowner's insurance and your property taxes. So your insurance and your property taxes are automatically paid from this escrow account when they're due, which in my opinion is one less thing to worry about. You can always shop for a replacement policy or amend your current coverage, but you always need to make sure that you check with your mortgage company first to know that it's going to satisfy all of the legal requirements. It's definitely a little more paperwork, but it's 100% doable.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you have a motorboat, especially something that is over 25 horsepower, which I mean, I'm not a boat person. Victoria's the boat person, actually, but that's a pretty low powered motor. You want to cover that separately. Especially if it's something that has a financial value. So if there was an accident in it and it got damaged, that you would be able to replace it. But I think importantly too, that you have that personal liability, because accidents do happen. If something were to happen out on the water, you would want to have the confidence that you're covered from a liability standpoint, and are not exposed to potential losses.
Yeah, I mean, so many unforeseen things can happen on a boat. First of all, there's no brakes on a boat. That's one thing right there that I see a lot of newbies and even seasoned captains in trouble. Yeah, it's just a really good thing to have, like Alyssa said, especially for the personal liability part. Yeah. So with your house, you are insuring your personal liability and the property, the whole perimeter of your property, the structures and everything. Whereas typically with a condo, you are only responsible for your unit. There's condo, it's like a homeowners association, but for the condo building, they're typically responsible for anything that happens once you step out of the door of your condo. But there are certain things that could happen to your condo as far as the structure goes that might not be covered by the association. So you really need to read through their contract and their insurance and what it'll cover, and make sure that you are covered outside of that.
Yeah, I like to think of condo coverage as like wall in. So the condo association will have a master policy that covers all of the buildings, because typically it's like one big building with multiple units in it. So they cover the like overarching structure, and then you're just responsible for like the studs in, all of your finishings inside, your floors, your walls, your windows, and then they cover the rest of the building.
Well, thank you all so much for joining me for this one. We hope this was really helpful for you as you navigate homeowners insurance. If you have more questions, you can drop them below or reach out to us at afinidainsurance.com. Thanks so much for being here.